Looking for Madden 23 Ultimate Team coins? AOEAH.com is the cheapest and most reliable coins on the market. Click the link in the description and use coupon code SPORTS for 3% off your order. Corner out, corner out, corner out. Guys, anyone that's played Madden 23 knows that corner outs are super OP. Everybody's using them, and if you need help stopping them, you're in luck, because in this video I'm about to break down one of the best defenses in the entire game. Yo, YouTube, what's up? It's Duke back here from Sportsgamerz.com, and in today's Madden 23 tip video, I want to break down one of the best defensive coverages in the whole game, and this is specifically really good for people who try to abuse corner routes. Right now, the meta is a lot of man coverage on defense, and people counter that with a lot of corner routes and also, tight end bunch formations. I would say tight end bunch formations are the most common thing you see online right now. Now, this year's game, man coverage is very good, but you can break down that coverage, like I said, with specific corner routes from formations. One of the most common plays you're seeing online right now is this bench, because with bench, you're able to do, corners and outs to beat man. With the high ball, especially, the corner route on bench is pretty good. You can drop route combos that bust up zone. It's a really good play. And on bunch, you have plays like Z spot, Z spot and go, where you can do the same type of stuff. So we're gonna be looking at this nickel over formation to counter, these corner routes. Especially, like I said, bench is one of the probably top 5, if not top 3 most used plays in the game right now. You can find the nickel over formation in a lot of defensive playbooks. In this video, I'm going to be looking at the Chiefs defensive playbook. And the play I want to look at is going to be the cover 6. A lot of people don't really understand how cover 6 works this year. It's a really good coverage, actually, and again, is another match-based coverage. Now, this cover 4 quarters that's very common is actually, in my opinion, cover 4 quarters is a lot easier to throw corner routes on than cover 6. Like, by default, cover 4 quarters and cover 4 match does do a pretty good job, by default, of stopping corner routes. However, some smart players out there, they have labbed, obviously, ways to attack cover 4 match. Cover 6 is going to be a bit different, because as you guys can see, cover 6, when you talk about cover 6, that's essentially 4 plus 2 equals 6, right? So that's cover 4 one side, cover 2 on the other. It just reacts a little bit differently. Now, in order to get your matching principles to work when running cover 6, you have to go into your coaching adjustments, find the zone coverage setting, and turn it to match. So I do recommend having auto flip on as well, and we're going to use this linebacker on the left of the screen the majority of the time. So, you can sub safeties in the game if you need to. For the Bills, I really am just going to use Edmonds. He's a good linebacker. And when you're running this nickel over formation, I would say the D-line is super important. With the Bills here, we have a pretty decent one. I mean, it's not crazy, but Von Miller is a good edge rusher, and Ed Oliver up the middle is pretty solid as well. But, when you see guys that are running a lot of nickel on Mutt, most of the time they have 4 good pass rushers there. So they'll use, say, a Deacon Jones, LT on the edge, maybe a Bruce Smith, and then, the Warren Sapps, that Olsen guy, Adams, those types of D tackles up the middle. It can be really tough for just a 4-man rush. So let's break down this cover 6 and show how it works. We're going to back the ball up to give ourselves some space to work with. And a reminder, guys, if you enjoy my content, I do free Madden 23 tip videos, gameplays, and news videos on a daily basis on my channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you're really rocking with me, smash that like button, comment on the video. All this stuff helps me a lot as a content creator. And if we could get to 250 likes on this video, I will show you guys another really good defensive play you can mix in with this cover 6 out of the nickel over formation. Now, before I actually show you how this cover 6 works, I want to show you guys a difference between running a defense like cover 6 and just a standard zone drop defense like a cover 3 sky, Tampa 2, just a cover 4 drop. Because I don't think a lot of people understand the differences this year. So here's a cover 3 sky. And if I just go ahead, and what a lot of players will do on stuff like this is they'll just go ahead and streak these receivers out of a play like bench. You're going to see that these deep zones, they're going to get ran off the ball really easily, so you can throw those. For my free YouTube content, I highly recommend checking out Sportsgamerz.com. This is where I post all my premium content for Madden 23. I have offensive and defensive eBooks, schemes, plus I do 4 to 6 premium tips every week in the Madden Vault to keep you guys ahead of the game. Our best offer yet is the Sportsgamerz Madden VIP membership. This is the best Madden membership anywhere on the net, the best content at the best price. You get access to the entire site for only $24.99. This means all of our eBooks, all of our Madden Vault tips, plus you even get access to our meta reports and our exclusive VIP members-only community. I also do one-on-one coaching as well for you guys that are interested in that. See you at sportsgamerz.com. If you're serious about winning more games, I will post a link in the description as well as in the comments. That's like an all day long type of deal. And you can honestly do that on either side with a few different adjustments of the field from a play like this. It's not hard to do. Different plays and different corner routes and different formations and hashes and all that stuff does require a little bit different adjustments to get this to happen. But I mean, this is kind of elementary right here, and it's very, very, very easy. Now, I want you guys to notice the difference. We're going to stick in cover 6 this time, and I'm going to recommend using this 3-rec hook zone. So, again, remember, we did turn our coaching adjustments to have match on. So what you're going to notice here is that the coverage is going to play just a lot different. So we're going to go ahead and do the same streak combo we did before. I'm just going to sit in here with my user over the middle, and as you guys see, the corner routes are now getting matched. And, you might say to yourself, well, match coverage, isn't that essentially man? And I mean, it is close to man, but the thing about it is match coverage plays a little bit different than man. And when you're in a zone defense that's matching, I mean, it just reacts a little bit different. You have zones all over the place, and you guys can see here, this is a tight window. This might be an ag catch situation in mutt, but because we're trailing the corner out in good position, we can click on and swat that. Now, if this is a better DB here, you definitely could pick this off, but because, this guy's he's not the best, that's one for the safe play and a swat here. Now, I will say, guys, that when you're playing match coverage, you definitely need to make sure you have good defenders, right? You can't just have anybody out there, otherwise you might get beat. So, personnel does matter. You don't just want bums out there. But let's just do that again. And as my user, again, in a play like this, my responsibility would just be able to sit over the middle of the field right here. You guys can see, again, able to click on and make that swat. I mean, it does look like there's decent separation there, but it's just very slight to where that I can click on and make that play. Again, this is not, something that is going to be that hard to break up, especially if you have a better DB here. Now, if you take a look at the other side of the field, what ends up happening is that the safety is matches up on this corner route over here, and then actually the DB, he's going to actually end up matching that streak. Over here, it was actually the sub linebacker who matched up on the tight end, and then the safety over the top matched on this streak. So you said we still do have our flat zone defender. I'm just defending the middle of the field, although really all there was for me to watch was the running back. Now, if I try to throw that corner out on the other side of the screen, I'm going to do that here. You guys are going to see that the safety is in pretty good position there to match that. See what I mean? I'm able to click on and make the pick. Now, again, if this was just standard cover 4, cover 3, cover 2, even man-to-man, this would be very easy to beat. But this cover 6 just reacts a lot better to it than those common defenses do. As you guys can see, again, everything is pretty much bottled up here. Bam. You could even, it does not really make a difference. You can base a line. You can do whatever you want. You're going to notice that this is still going to pretty much have the same effect as you see there. Another thing about this defense is the 4-man rush is really solid to where most of the time you're going to end up getting quick pressure before they even have time for anything to go super far downfield anyways. But as your user responsibility, when you're using the 3-rec hook zone, you're just really watching the middle of the field. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering to yourself, what would happen if they were to just basically, just run their little out routes, right? They didn't do the streaks, they just did the out routes. Well, that would kind of change up how this play worked, but we'll take a look here. So if we just hike the stock with the out routes, you're going to notice a few different things. The defense is going to change the way it matches. So over here on this side of the screen, you'll see that the safety, he's actually going to be responsible for that corner route instead of the sub linebacker. this guy, he's going to be watching the flat, although, you know, you could have thrown that there. The soft squat, you know, did get that a little bit up. Over here, the safety is still on the corner, and we have our flat zone coverage. So if you try to chuck one of those corner routes, we'll do that right now. Try to chuck the corner out to the tight end. You'll see that our safety is right there. We're able to click on and play that. So in a situation like this, again, your responsibility would really just be to watch the middle of the field with your user. You know, maybe they do some drags. Maybe they would hot route a slant. Maybe, you know, the running back comes out the backfield. But any case right here, again, if you try to throw this corner out, our safety's sitting right there in a really good position to be able to click on and make that play. Now, guys, the important thing about this is you want to make sure you have the auto flip on, right? Because, you know, if they're running a formation like bunch, this might be a little bit different. So if they get in bunch, you know, they're probably going to have their bunch to the wide side of the field. One of the more common things you'll see is a play like Z spot, you know, just something to where they have a streak flat corner type situation. So what you're going to end up seeing here is, again, we're going to have our cover 4 on the bunch side of the field, our cover 2 on the lone receiver side. You'll see that they're probably going to just try to do a combo like this, and, you know, it ends up breaking, right? It ends up breaking, and the reason that happens is the safety in the corner, they kind of get confused on who they're supposed to be passing off to each other. So you're going to see that if you just leave it stock, the corner, you know, it gets covered, but the safety actually gets confused, and he leaves that open for a one-play touchdown. So what I recommend doing if they're in a formation like this, a bunch, I would just go ahead and put this guy in an inside third. That way you know he's not going to bust that coverage. And then the corner will still play the corner out, as you guys can see there. But the safety, he's going to be sitting in the middle of the field. So he doesn't get confused on who he's supposed to be guarding. Once you put him in the inside third, he will not try to match. He will just play center field, basically. And you guys can see he's going to shut off that area to where now there's not a free touchdown over the top. You guys can see here the corner out still gets matched by this outside quarter zone. You guys can see here you're able to take that away. And the flat zone is able to take away the flat. And then we have cover 2 on this side. And once again, I would still just recommend using in the middle of the field on that 3-rec hook zone. So, you know, you can press coverage if you want. Like a lot of people, when they run this defense, they just go ahead and they just pinch their whole defense. And what ends up happening when you pinch your defense is let's see if we can, my defense is like frozen or something. My adjustments are not registering. It's kind of weird. All right, there we go. When you pinch your defense, your D-line, your linebackers pinch, but also your DBs come up. So what we can do is we can press by pinching. Go ahead, put that safety in the cover 4 side, the bunch side, and the inside third, and just use the 3-rec hook zone. You're going to notice that once again, you're going to be able to take that route combo away pretty well. Although when you press, I will say it is a little bit more dangerous, because when you press, sometimes those corner routes can get behind the deep zones. Because, you know, this year, the game is a little bit funny in that they don't really, the deep zones and the cloud flats, sometimes against these formations, they don't get depth fast enough, so you can just throw that corner out over the top of his head. So that's why, I mean, if you're going to press, you got to be careful. What I would do is if you're going to pinch your defense and press, I would just back up the corner individually on the bunch or the tight side. And to do that, you just hit your coverage audible, your individual adjustments, and then the icon of the bunch receiver, the outside bunch receiver, in this case that's square, and then you hit up on the right analog stick to back him up. Now everybody else is pressed except for him, and that's just going to make it a lot more safe, so you don't see that happening. Now if they just try to throw that, again, we're right there. If you try to chuck that, that's going to be a pick. So again, what I'm doing is I'm pinching my defense to press everybody, but then I'm individually backing this corner up on the bunch side just to be a little bit more safe. Again, I like to put the safety on the bunch side into an inside third, and inside third is to the left on the left analog stick. Now, to individually back him up, this corner right here, again, for PlayStation, that would be triangle. To bring up your coverage adjustments on Xbox, that's Y. Then you just hit the individual, as you guys can see, individual on PlayStation is X. You hit the guy's icon, which is the outside receiver on bunch, because you want to back that corner up. And you guys can see again, that's Aguilar, his icon for PlayStation is square. And then you just hit up on the right analog stick to back him up. Now, that might, if you're not familiar with it, That might sound like it's a lot, but once you get it down, it just takes a second. It's not very hard to do at all. And as you guys see again, we're able to get in here for the sack. Now, I will say, just like any other match coverage, just like cover 4 quarters match, cover 6, match coverage, there's some things you guys can do to break this down. Remember, this is technically a cover 4 on one side and a cover 2 on the other side. So if on the cover 4 side, we were able to know how to manipulate cover 4 match on that side, manipulate cover 2 on the other side, you know, there's things you can do. Every coverage in the game, there's counters you guys can do. So I don't want to act like there's nothing you guys can do here to beat this coverage, because there definitely is. And I show that type of premium content on sportsgamerz.com if you're interested. All of my membership tips, my ebooks, all my premium content you can get as a VIP member on sportsgamerz.com. Link is in the description in the comments to sign up. For $24.99, become a much better Madden player. But there's definitely things you can do to beat it. With that said, this is going to be your best bet to stop the guys that they just come out here and spam corner routes, and they just have probably watched a Twitch stream or bought an ebook, and they think you can just throw corner routes against everything. And worst case scenario, call bench, hot route a streak. It's going to work every time. Like, dudes like that have no idea what they're doing, this is going to kill that. But, like, yes, if you did play a pro player, they're probably going to know how to counter these types of things, so you would have to counter right back with them. But that's the beauty of Madden. At the highest level, it's a chess match. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This should really help out a lot against these corner routes. Until next time, it's Duke, and